Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pageant Sit Down. My name is Regina Lena, and I'm your host, and I'm so happy to have you here with us today, especially on Pink Shirt Wednesday. For those who don't know, Pink Shirt Day is all of us standing together in support of anti-bullying, and I'm excited because my guest is also in a pink shirt. But I do want to give a shout out to Trisha, our Mrs. Galaxy Edmonton, who was selling and fundraising these amazing Be Kind tie-dye t-shirts. So if you are looking for a t-shirt, if you're still looking for a pink t-shirt for next year, hit her up on Instagram. She has been donating all the proceeds to the Kids Helpline. Kids Help, no. You know what I mean, Kids Helpline. And I will put it in the description below. But I'm super excited because I have a Galaxy sister with me today. She is none other, and bear with me, I may butcher her title. She is none other than Miss Galaxy Vaudreuil, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to the Pageant Sit Down.
Hi, you didn't butcher it so much. You did a good job, so I think you did good.
Thank you. I was like, oh my goodness, am I gonna butcher it? Like, okay, how do you pronounce it?
It's Vaudreuil.
Okay.
Like V-O, like Vo.
Vaudreuil.
Yeah, you got it. Now together. Vaudreuil.
Vaudreuil.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. You're practically French now.
Woo. Thank you, Stephanie, for teaching me that. So, Stephanie, welcome to Pageant Sit Down. For those who may not know you, would you mind introducing yourself to them?
Of course. So I always like to say that I consider myself, I'm still a student, but I like to say it so that, puts it in the universe, and I'm going to be a director and all that stuff. So I like to put it in the universe out there, but I'm a film studies and communications studies student at Carleton University. I'm in my third year right now, so almost done. And I love movies, so I can go on about it. But other than that, my passion is pageants, obviously. I've been in the pageant world for 5 years, so I know a lot about it. So I just love talking about it. So we'll probably delve into it a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Well, welcome. And yes, 5 years of pageant experience might seem not like a lot, and a lot to some people, depending on where in their pageant career they are. But I know for a fact that you have done amazing in pageants, specifically in your home or in your province of Quebec. In 2016, you were Miss Teen Quebec. How was that?
Yes. Well, Miss Teen Quebec was a huge experience for me, just because I was coming out of a depression when I signed up. And I was dealing with mental illness for at least 2 years prior to that. So my therapist was recommending me to go try new things, just experience new things. So I did some cheerleading when I felt the complete opposite of that, but it really helped me feel like I mattered. And the second thing was pageants, because it really showed me confidence. And at first I was like, I'm just going to go on there, wear pretty dresses, walk on a stage, and it's going to be like a pre-prom. I saw it that way. But it ended up being so much more. So for those that don't know, Miss Teen Quebec and Miss Teen Canada, which I did later on, are personality pageants. So there's no swimsuits. It's really about how you speak to others. You're interacting with girls and the staff in general, and also your public speaking and your presence on stage. So it's all about that, and I just really love my experience. Obviously, it went well, and for those also that don't know, for Miss Teen Quebec, it's like a huge pageant in the way that like there's like 100, at least the year I competed, there was 150 girls competing in my category. So
wow.
It was crazy. And at the point where like it's in multiple like stages, so there's like the first pageant, there's first like place, no, not first place. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my words. My French is coming out.
No worries.
The first gala, that's what they call it, was in October. Then they eliminated 50% of them. And then the second was in December, and they eliminated to the top 12. And then the last one in March is obviously the winner that they announced. So it's a lot of stages, which is fun because through all of it, there's different activities and different things to do, which I love, like workshops of how to do your makeup, how to walk, how to do self-defense stuff, and how to
Wow.
organize yourself, like with papers, and just to be more organized in everything with agendas and everything. So we had a lot of different workshops that really helped out with just knowing how to live in general and how to speak well, how to interview. So those were all so helpful, and every step of the way, I really didn't think I would make it through because I wasn't confident at the time. I didn't really speak out to other people much. I was just learning how to do that. That was the point where I was learning how to do that. So being called the winner was like, what? Me, of all people? And it's crazy because one of the girls I was competing against was one of my bullies when I grew up, and so it was rough to like compete against someone that hurt you so much, and that she went kind of far in the competition too. But to me, it didn't really matter if she was like lower or higher than me in the placing. It was more like I wanted to be the best version of myself and try to be as confident as I can be and show that person or anyone that I've grown and I'm not as small as I was made to be. So yeah.
Wow. Well, it's perfect to have you here on Anti-Bullying Day, and it's crazy how that experience. So, as you mentioned at the top, you were coming out of depression, and being able to kind of face your fears with your bully right there and come out on top. That's incredible. And
Crazy.
knowing that it was your first pageant and you won, but you also gained so much confidence, so much experience, that's the power of pageantry. And I don't think
Exactly.
people realize that, but I'm so happy that you were able to overcome the things that you were fighting just from that one experience. And thank you for opening up about that,
Of course.
because I'm sure there are a lot of young girls out there who are now looking at you as a role model, knowing your story, be like, wow, if she can go through it and overcome it, I can too. So that's
It's really true.
amazing.
It's really true. I mean, bullying is not something that's easy to come through. I mean, I think it comes from a lack of education, from a lack of telling kids, or because I was bullied when I was like 8 to 10, 11 years old. So, I mean, I think it's just a lack of education of teaching kids not to be mean to one another. And I'm lucky because I have a privilege and I don't have adversities as strong as others that are not noticeable, at least from my physique. And so I just imagine how it could be for others that could be because of their physique or who they are. But I just find it very unfortunate that a lot of kids are not educated on that factor.
No, it's true. Like, I was just looking on my phone for a stat that I put on my post on or Instagram, and it was shocking to me. It was 1 in 3 kids have actually reported being bullied or like have spoken out about it. But the craziest stat as that I found was someone in the playground, 1 in 7, once every 7 minutes, a child is bullied on the playground.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, again, with you being here and opening up and sharing your story on what you've experienced, you're shining a light to all those young girls and boys out there who are possibly watching.
Yes. Thank you.
But thank you for opening up. But other than that, I'm trying to figure out a segue on this topic, but I don't think I can. But what I do want to ask you about is, earlier you mentioned that you are a filmmaker, and I love that you're manifesting and bringing it out there that, yes, I'm a filmmaker. I'm going to direct a movie. You kind of are, because you have your own docu-series called Visions of Representation. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where it came from?
Okay, so vision representation came out of studying at Carleton University in communications and in film studies. I got to see a lot about representation in general, whether it was how people were being seen or represented on film or in the media in general, whether they were included from the media that was being talked about. And we talk a lot about the idea of, if you know the academic terms of the gays and I mean all these things. I don't want to go on about all the academic stuff, but it's all things that we don't really think about when we're looking at a social media post, or we're looking at a picture, or we're looking at a video in general. So it really started making me think that I need to do something with representation in the media. And also, I work for the local engagement refugee research network, in which I make videos for and with refugees to promote collaborative research between Global North and Global South partners, and also to promote refugee participation, everything that has to do with policymaking decisions, so that refugees have a decision, make a decision on what is happening for them. So it's another aspect of representation, and it shows that they know themselves better than anyone else what they need. So bring all that knowledge together, and through the pandemic, where there's a time where we don't get to meet new people, we don't see new perspectives, and we don't get to open our minds to different opinions, I decided that I would start this documentary series. And I have to thank Maria Giorlando, my friend, that really pushed me to do it, because without her, I probably wouldn't have done it because of barriers and stuff. But so I started it because of all these things, because I saw the importance of representing different opinions and ideas in a time where people are people are rather doing nothing, and they're also not meeting new people. So I try to invite guests that live through different adversities, hardships, and I'm now at episode 36 that's coming out tomorrow. So I have people really from all kinds of industries, whether it's engineering or acting. I have people from pretty much everywhere, which is really exceptional. And it really opened my eyes to my privilege. And it really opened my eyes on things that I didn't know that I might have been judging beforehand. And that it made me realize my mistakes and understand that I needed to be maybe kinder to other people, or understanding to different kinds of situations. So I think it's really been a blessing for the people that I've been spreading the voices out there, but also for myself, for learning all these different perspectives, and also so beneficial for the people watching as well.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I saw a few familiar faces while I was going through the list, and you had a former Miss Universe Canada on there, and you had Sierra, and she is such an inspiration to so many people. So seeing her story, and you've had so many amazing. I love that you also do French. You have an English and French perspective, which is great, because then you're including everyone, especially since you're from Quebec. It makes sense.
Exactly. I can reach a wider audience this way as well. And another thing about Sierra Burchell, that's also another thing about representation. I'm a size 6, size 8. I don't consider myself the perfect pageant body. And I know it's super cliche, but watching Sierra Burchell on the Miss Universe stage was so important to me, because it was at the time that I was competing at Miss Quebec. And seeing her there just made me feel like I belonged in the pageant world. So I need to thank her, and I thanked her through interviewing her for just being there and being present as herself, and not for the person that she thought that she was supposed to be. I really appreciated that.
100%. I met her when I competed at Miss Universe Canada in 2017, and I had the same conversation with her. Like, I did my entire pageant career, because initially Miss Universe Canada was going to be my last pageant, and so I went my entire pageant career going through the motions of eating disorders and trying to be skinny and being the perfect pageant type, and seeing what Sierra went through and what she was portraying to everyone. I was like, yes, like, let's do it. And it hyped me up even more. In the chats, we have Janice McGregor. Hi, Janice. She's asking where she can find the documentaries, because she is interested.
Of course. Well, I have it on Instagram for Vision of Representation on Instagram, or it's on my YouTube channel, which is where I post the full episodes. My YouTube channel is my name, Stéphanie Hubert, Hubert, because I said it in the French way. But yes, my YouTube channel, or if you type on YouTube Vision of Representation, you'll for sure find all the episodes.
Yes, and for those who are interested, the links are in the description below. So after this episode of the Pageant Sit Down, make sure you check it out. Another question that I got on Instagram, speaking about Vision of Representation, was what inspired you into film?
Ooh, okay. If you know me, I'm like a huge geek. Like, you don't
Oh,
want to get me talking about movies and books, and you don't want to get me talking about board games, especially board games. I'm like a huge board game fan, anyways. And when one of my earliest memories is watching Harry Potter,
mm,
and I was so in awe, honestly, of it. And I have fear of spiders because of the second Harry Potter, The Chamber of Secrets, and I don't know. There was something about it that just made me want to create that same kind of magic that I was feeling when I was watching it over and over and over again. And just seeing that. And I think it's also the fact that every year my parents and I have this tradition of watching the Oscars. And it's always a
mhm.
big night. It's always a big night between the three of us that we're just having popcorn. We have our predictions. I mean, at least I have my predictions. Not really, not they don't really know much about it, but I'm just always so excited talking about the actors, the directors, and the producers, everyone behind the scenes, and I get so excited about it. So I think what really got me into film was really the fact that I was in love with it. I was in love with
Mhm.
the whole medium, and I think that it has a true power to create change. That's one of the most important things. Whenever we watch a film, we're influenced by it in some way or form, whether it is if it talks about representation or if it's something that's political or even if it's just something that we just enjoy by entertainment. We always
Mhm.
have some kind of feeling that we have towards it that may change our behaviors on certain things. I mean, there's movies that have come out there that have been proven to result just because of the way that people reacted towards them and understood them. So I think if we spread more positive, kind ideas of loving stories that just show different kinds of people, I think that will represent a lot of different kinds of stories and adversities. And I think that through my career in the future, I really want to showcase that and also cast people, if, for example, with a disability that
Mhm.
has an actual disability. It's very important to me to represent someone for who they are and not cast an actor as someone that has a disability because I would just find that wrong in general.
No, that makes complete sense. So that means one day we are going to be seeing you up there on stage getting your award and be like,
Yes.
I interviewed her. I did that.
You will, because an Oscar is my ultimate goal. It's my dream. It's where I want to go. I want to be that kind of representation for other young girls like me that didn't have that opportunity to see women win Oscars. There's only
Mhm.
like one or two women that have won an Oscar to this point for directing. And so this is an issue and we need to change that. And luckily this year there's three women running for in my predictions for the directing category for nominations. So I really hope that this changes and that we have more female representation in the directing category. So I just hope that one day women have a lot more opportunities in this medium and get a lot more respect in this male dominated industry.
For sure. Well, I'm excited to see where your journey takes you. But another journey that you are currently on is for the Miss Galaxy Canada title. Your reign has been extended, as all of ours has been. How has that affected your pageant prep or your focus when it comes to Canada Galaxy?
Okay. Well, I'm someone that loves pageants and I breathe and eat them and whatever you want to call them, no matter what. So of course, it was devastating that like it would be pushed an extra year. I'm sure you felt the same way with internationals being pushed. But at the same time, at that point in my life, I was not comfortable with going to nationals with a pandemic. I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, it's kind of risky. I don't know enough about the situation. And right now, if it were to happen in August, I'm a lot more comfortable with that being a possibility for sure because we know a lot more about COVID. We know a lot more how to take procedures, and I think I would feel a lot more comfortable now than a year prior.
Mhm.
Also, I got to prepare so much more. If I think about it, like last year, I didn't have a coach. I didn't do self care. I didn't journal. I didn't do all these little things that really help with being a better version of myself. And I didn't practice walks. I didn't practice interviews. So it goes on to all of that. And I think it's more like changing my own mindset to becoming a little bit more positive every single day. So taking those little steps, even though it's not perfect every single day, but taking those little steps to be a little bit more kinder and positive and elaborating my platform as well. So all of that has been really great in the end, and I'm really excited and ready for August to come, and it's going to be exciting.
It's amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in your journey. And a question that I have on Instagram is, what would you do with your title if you won Miss Canada Galaxy?
Ooh.
I like that question.
I love it. I think it's really to keep spreading my platform vision representation out there. I want more people to be reached on it. So right now we're about 1,000 followers on the platform.
Wow.
So I mean, I really want to reach to the 2, 3, 5,000s if that's possible, and really get a lot more people listening into that. And being able to speak about my platform on the international stage would just be really awesome as well. And I mean, I'm gonna arrive there at internationals if I'm chosen, at the best version of myself that I can be, and keep progressing and keep doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm just ready to fill in those Miss shoes. I mean, it's always been in the teen categories before, so now I'm just so ready after this is gonna be like my 5th or 6th pageant, something like that. It's gonna be I'm gonna be ready to like finally step into the Miss shoes and get ready for it. I'm so excited.
That's exciting. And just piggybacking off that question, another question from the same person. Their question is, which pageant queen inspires you and why?
Okay, well, it depends for which system. For if it's in general, I mean, I kind of said it before. Sierra Virtual, 100%. She's really like who I love and follow. But also, I also mentioned her before. But Maria Dorlando. I mean, we've met at Miss Teen Canada, Miss Canada. We were competing the same year, and I mean, she's just been such an important role model for me. And she's just so kind. We've become like the best of friends. We text almost every day, and so I just think that it's an amazing space to just meet great, empowering, like-minded women. And I mean, it's just I don't you know I'm going on a tangent just because I'm talking about my friend, but
No.
Yes, exactly. So she's 100% who I'm inspired by. But if I have to go for Galaxy, I mean, you're really inspiring me. I'm gonna be like honest.
Oh.
Like, if I would have this question in an interview, I would have said you, because like you're doing so many things. You're doing this, you're doing the chocolate bombs, you're doing so many things to try to keep active, especially also in your community. You're just doing so much, and I just find that so inspiring. And that's like, you're the kind of title holder that I want to like strive to be. So that's
Oh, well
that's
done.
what I'm following you, and I'm watching the episodes. I'm just enjoying it. I'm like I'm a fan, so I love it.
Oh my goodness. Well, now I don't know where to go with this conversation, but I appreciate
Sorry.
that. No, it's okay. Well, I could tell you Maria is actually going to be a guest on our show in a few weeks. I would love to hear everything that she has to say as the pageant coach and as a newly crowned title holder. So I'm excited to have her. So make sure you tune into that. But we are at the half-hour point, so I do want to get into our segment, which is top 5 pageant tips from a beauty queen. So, Stephanie, what would be your top 5 tips for all our pageant hopefuls watching?
Okay, so my first one is being kind to everyone, not just the contestants, but not just the people running the show, but everyone. If you're at a table with, I don't know, eating stuff with at the restaurant or whatever, you never know who's going to be a judge, even if it's the photographer. So for Miss Teen Canada, I was a photographer for one of the years after. I was helping out and taking some pictures, and I mean, of course, I had to say a little bit in the judging. The people that were judging asked me their opinions about who was doing good, who was doing bad, and of course, I was able to pinpoint who was doing good and bad, obviously. So, I mean, this all just shows to say that, I mean, yeah, everyone is watching. Also, when I was competing for Miss Teen Quebec, I was being done my makeup, and the girl doing my makeup was one of the judges. So you never know who's gonna be out there looking. And I was one of the kinder ones, because I really said thank you and things like that. And it's just because I'm genuine and authentic to myself. But she was telling me after the pageant that like some of the girls were like very mean and said things like, I hate my makeup, right in front of her. Like, just don't say these things. Like, if you don't like it, just try to adjust it on your own or something like that. But don't say it to her face, please. Be kind. Okay. The second thing is try to talk to everyone. I know it's not easy, especially when it's like a pageant like weekend. So, and there's like a lot of contestants, but try to take the time to speak to everyone, and also look at their social media, look at what they're doing beforehand, and so that you already have a conversation to talk about. I mean, it's always important to, be ready to talk about it, because as someone that was judging a little bit, I mean, I look at the people that are conversing. I look at the people that look interested in talking to other girls and networking. You never know who you're going to meet as well. Like, who knows? Maybe I'm going to meet one of my actresses that it's going to play in one of my movies one day. Like, who knows? We never know who we're going to meet. So it's important to, think about those contacts that, whether it's pageant or not related, it's important to have. The other thing is be prepared, obviously. I think everyone knows this one, whether it is practicing your walks, practicing your interview, but also arriving as like the best mindset that you can have, whether it is just being as genuine as you can and authentic to yourself, whether it is by journaling, which is my personal way of doing it, which is I like to write about my past. And I learned this through Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, that I'm currently reading, but like it's taken me a long time to read it, but it's what it is. But at the beginning of her book, she says something that it really struck me. And it was, how did I remember all of this? So a lot of people were asking her this because it's a really detailed memoir of her life. So it got me thinking about, like, I need to start writing about my life, because that's something that she regretted not doing when she was younger. And it just helped me realize what I'm proud of, what I'm grateful for. And it just made me more positive in general and excited to talk about these things. So yes, that goes on with being proud of yourself, number 4. So no matter the outcome that comes from doing the pageant, whether you win, whether you're first runner-up, second runner-up, third runner-up, be proud of yourself, because you made it. You could have decided not to go to the pageant, bail, stay in your room, not go because you're afraid. But if you stood up on that stage, you smiled the whole time, you enjoyed yourself, be proud. Enjoy it. Enjoy every single moment. I mean, you're going to think about it the next day and you're going to be like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. And then it's like, if you want to redo it again, you have to wait a whole year. It's like, just enjoy every single moment and be proud of what you've done, who you are. And that's something I didn't do when I was first runner-up at Miss Teen Canada. I was so frustrated myself. I was so mad. I'm gonna be honest. I was not happy. I loved the winner. That's not the issue. I was just putting so much pressure on myself to be the best version of myself, and I was, thinking about all these things, but I wasn't thinking about who I am and why I should be proud of, and that it's not my decision. The judges, it's their decision, and that I need to understand the idea of destiny. And that if it's the girl's destiny, I mean, good for her. And that's the kind of mentality that I want to have coming into Galaxy as well, with, the idea of the change of my perspective of Miss Teen Canada and growing up to a more mature outcome, which is just be proud no matter the outcome, especially when there's so many contestants this year. They're amazing, by the way. Like, so many girls are so impressive. Anyways, and the last one is perform like there's no tomorrow. Doesn't matter if you stumble or whatever, perform like there's no tomorrow. If you're just there smiling and enjoying yourself, I mean, girl, who cares? It's really about just enjoying it. Like I said earlier, just if the next day you're gonna think about it and you're gonna be like, just don't be like arriving on stage like this. Like, enjoy it. Put your shoulders high and smile and just be excited about it, because hey, you're there just once, or maybe you're gonna do it again another time, but just to enjoy the stage and enjoy the lights. It's something I truly learned. I know I'm saying experience every time, but with when I did Miss Teen Continents in Las Vegas, it was my first beauty pageant where I had to do a swimsuit, and I was so nervous about it. I was so nervous, like, and it was kind of like I went there on a whim with Maria, actually. And I went there on a whim, and I was like, let's do it. But I was really nervous about swimsuit. But then I see all the girls practicing and doing their turns, and I had never practiced walking in heels with a swimsuit ever before. I hadn't thought of that. So I arrive and I just do it. And one woman came up to me after the show, and she said, like, you were so bad, like, so bad. It was embarrassing, but you were the girl that had the most fun out there because you were there smiling, dancing, and walking like you didn't care. And it was just amazing to see that kind of confidence, even though you were nervous and that it didn't show because you were there and you were enjoying yourself, which is 100% what I did. And so exactly, for the girls that are nervous about walking, you know what? Just enjoy it. It doesn't matter whether it is perfect or not. Just smile and be proud. So yeah, that's my 5 tips.
And those are 5 great tips. I just can't believe that girl told you were terrible.
It was like a pageant mom of like someone else, but
Doesn't
whatever.
matter.
It doesn't matter. You don't say that to people. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Especially because it's a pageant mom. That makes it worse.
Yeah.
But
Whatever.
you did mention the amount of women or the amount of Miss in division for Galaxy Canada. And Cindy with an S is here, and she's in the chat saying she has a question for you actually. She says the Miss division has the most amount of participants with over 40 people.
Mm-hmm.
Does that worry you?
Honestly, I'm excited because, like I said, I want to network with so many people. I want to talk to everyone and just meet people that I might get to work with in the future, that I might get to know in the for the future, for the pageant world. I mean, I do understand and I'm aware that there's 40 plus girls, but I am going to be proud of whoever is going to win. I mean, of course, I want to win. I mean, everyone wants to win. But I think that we're such a good group and everyone supports one another so well. So I'm just like, whoever it is, I'm going to be happy. And of course, it's difficult for people that have signed up like 2 years prior. I think about these people that they've been preparing for so long, and I'm like, wow, like it must be like hard on them if ever they don't win. So I try to think about those perspectives too. And everyone has a story, everyone has something that they're going through. So no matter who it is, I think with like 40, 50, whatever amount of contestants, it's really led to the judges, and the destiny will be what it is. And who knows, if I don't win, maybe another year. I mean, I really feel like Galaxy aligns really well with my values and who I am as someone that really pros on diversity and inclusion, and that Galaxy does exactly the same. I think that I think it's just a perfect system for me. So whether it happens this year or another year or whenever, I just really think that one day Galaxy will be like my destiny. So who knows?
I'm excited for that. Like you said, if it doesn't happen this year, girl, I was first runner up the first time I did it, and you never know. Like you said, if it's your destiny, it's your destiny. Dennis McGregor says the more delegates there are, the more friends you leave with, which is very true. And I actually wanted to ask you this because you mentioned you're an only child. You've done so many pageants, 40 candidates in your division. That's 40 sisters. How do you, because I was an only child for 8 years of my life, and I'm the only girl. So I'm like, you know what? I could get catty sometimes. I'm going to be honest. How was it for you in your first pageant, being an only child and then coming into this environment?
Ooh, I don't even know how to answer that. It's more like, I'm like, oh boy. I wasn't a girl's person. I mean, I wasn't a friends person in general. Like, I only had one small group of friends, didn't really talk to that many other people. I was really shy. So going into that environment when because just in my category, there was 150 people, but overall, there was like 250 for the 3 categories, preteen, teen, and Miss. So there was about 250 girls in the whole competition. So of course, I didn't meet everyone. I talked a lot more in the top 12 for each category. We were like 36. So I talked to everyone at that point. But beforehand, it was very nerve-wracking. I mean, I did it with great because at least I had someone to rely on. But we quickly learned that it's really fun to meet other girls too. And the activities that the Miss Quebec system does are very tailored to make friends. So we have activities in the summer to do. In the beach, we have like activities to do, like sandcastle competitions, and like those. Oh, man, I have a missing my words, but I think it's tug of war, but it's like a string, and you're like both pulling.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay.
Yes. So, your French and your English is fighting in your brain right now.
Exactly. It's fighting.
It's okay.
And we just there's just so many fun activities. So they're just made to make friends and enjoy competing with each other and being good teammates. And it's been such a great experience, and that got me to learn so many great things about these women and be more open-minded for each pageant that I've done, to just be making more friends and being open-minded to talk and just let myself go with talking, asking questions, being curious about the other girls. I think that's so important to do, and just be excited for everyone.
That's amazing. Well, there's 40 girls for Galaxy, plus I know there's over 100 candidates already just
Yeah.
in general for 7 categories. So you will make a lot of friends, I could tell you that. And
Oh,
the PJ party, it's going to be a fun time, and I'm really excited to see all of you in person.
mhm.
Um, but another question that I had for you, a fun fact that you gave to me was, yes, you're an only child, but you have had many exchange students stay with you guys. How is that?
Okay, so it all started with my mom. She had 3 miscarriages when I was growing up, and my parents always wanted other children because I have 12 cousins on one side, 5 cousins on the other, so it's really big Christmas parties. But
Yeah.
the thing is that my parents felt like they were missing something, so we had a lot of pets. I mean, we have 3 horses, 2 dogs, 2 cats. We're very busy.
Well,
But my parents were really missing just having another person there. So when I was 12, they decided to host an exchange student from Austria that would stay a whole year at our house. So I was not fond of the idea. I'm gonna be honest. I was very resistant about it because
I mean, you're 12.
I mean, I was
It made
12. I
sense.
mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really want to have a sister. I mean, I was used to not sharing anything my whole life, having everything I wanted, and then I had to give up a room in my basement because I was alone in the basement. I'm still alone in the basement, but I had to give up a room in the basement and share it, and I was just uncomfortable. And it was during the time that I was dealing in the worst of my depression at that point. So it was just a challenging. But when I saw her and I met her, Emily was just so kind. She was 16 and I was 12, so we had that age gap, but we became really close. Like, I can't even explain it how close we became. And when she left, it was like my heart was broken.
Oh,
Because we shared everything. It was the first person that I had shared my feelings for how I felt about my depression and how I felt about everything. So she was the first person to listen to me and to really, be there for me, to cry with me, and to have all those feelings. So it was just so important for me to have that person that I just didn't feel like I had before. And so when she left, my depression relapsed a lot. But being able to get other students every year really built me to be a stronger person and meet women from all over the world. And they were ranging between 15 and 17 years old when they would come. So at the beginning, they were older than me, and then they were the same age, and then after I was older. So we had some from Mexico, Brazil, I don't want to forget anyone, New Zealand, Italy, Norway,
wow.
okay, Germany, that's 6. Wait, I'm missing someone. I don't want to miss anyone because then I'll be in trouble. Oh, New Zealand. Did I say that? Okay. And now we're having is it Czech Republic in English?
Mhm.
Okay, there you go. Now we're having one from Czech Republic in August. She will come. She's actually coming the same weekend that Galaxy is coming. So I'm gonna
Oh,
miss her arrival, unfortunately. So my parents will be there at the airport for her, and I'll be celebrating at Galaxy, which will be exciting to come back and meet her when I come back home. So it's gonna be exciting.
that's awesome. That's literally like you're hosting your own international pageant at home.
Exactly. Honestly, yes. Because when I did Miss Teen Continents, my first international, it was really that. I met girls from all over the world, from Fiji, from, I mean, the United States even, like I didn't know, from Mexico, Puerto Rico, everywhere. And it was just so exciting to meet people from all around the world and getting all those contacts. And
Mhm.
it's the same thing when you're hosting exchange students, is getting all those contacts from everywhere. And I mean, I don't women are just so powerful and have so much ambition and so much important things to say that it's just impressive to meet people from everywhere and see their different cultures, and of course teach our culture. So whether it is eating poutine and having maple syrup on everything and all these Canadian things that we just love to do, it's really fun to teach our culture and also to get a little bit about theirs during the whole year.
It's so crazy that you mentioned poutine because that is one of my favorite meals. Like honestly, I haven't had one in over a year, and it's funny you mentioned that because when I went to the Philippines, my cousin was grossed out that I would dip my fries in gravy.
What?
And she was like, "Ew, don't do that." And I'm like, "You try it." She's like, "No." So it's just so crazy how something that we see as normal is not normal in other countries and cultures. So I was like,
it's funny.
I'm curious to how many of the exchange students that you guys had were either disgusted by the thought of poutine or loved it.
Some people are very open-minded. I mean, when they're exchange students, I mean, we have to keep in mind that they're going to be ready to enter a different culture. Some of them did not speak French nor English when they arrived. So it was a total language barrier, but they learned really quickly, which was fun. But some of them were like, like one of them did not want to eat anything of our food, which was a little bit embarrassing because it was like a little bit of a barrier with the food. But most of them were just very open-minded and tried, and some loved it, loved it. Poutine I think it's from Quebec mainly, so because we have the cheese curds and that is like different than in Ontario. And so it's something that we eat very regularly at home. I know it's not very healthy, but whatever. It's something that we eat like at least once a month, and I just love it. It's probably one of my favorite meals because cheese is my favorite thing. I could eat cheese all the time, all the time. You don't want to get me into that conversation. But I even did a cheese tour last summer around Quebec. So me and my boyfriend, we took the car and we drove around the province to go to cheese factories. Is that the word for it? But yeah, we went to cheese factories and we got some cheese from all over and then we came back. We ate a bunch of cheese and it was amazing. I loved it.
That's awesome. So that just means when you come here to Toronto for Galaxy, I'm gonna be like, cheese, please.
Yes. Oh, you don't even know. For Miss Quebec, like I gotten really close with the organization and with doing Miss Canada as well and helping out, judging, taking pictures. Anyways, I've been with the organization for 5 years, and one of the things that they learned with me is that every time we have a gala, every time we have an activity, they order a cheese platter, and that started because of me because I wanted cheese one of the nights when I was during my reign, and I was like, I feel like eating cheese. And they were like, what? So they ordered some cheese at the hotel that night, and that started the idea of getting a cheese platter at every single event that we planned and that we were a part of. So that was really, that's my tradition that I brought to the Miss Quebec organization.
I love that. That's amazing. So you've talked a lot about the different pageant experiences that you had, but what I am curious to know is how did you come across Galaxy Canada?
Well, I knew Cindy from doing Miss Canada because she competed. I don't remember if it's once or twice, or I don't know, whatever. We've met there, so that was one thing. I didn't even know she was part of Big Brother, which was kind of funny because a lot of people know her that way. But yeah, I just knew her through that pageant system, and I thought that we connected well during the pageant week, and so. When she reached out to me and she said like, hey, do you want to do Galaxy? And I really wanted to make sure it aligned well with my values. So that was something that I looked straight up and make sure that it really, I don't know, it fit well with me, that I wouldn't feel uncomfortable going on a swimsuit on stage for that kind of competition, or that I wouldn't feel judged for my body type, or I wouldn't feel judged for anything that's just not the norm or not the pageant norm, and that I can just be my girl next door kind of type of girl, and that I don't have to be this cookie cutter pageant girl, right? So I think that's why it really aligned with me. And I was going to compete to another pageant, which I'm not going to mention which one, but they didn't really seem interested in having me, versus Cindy wrote to me and she was like, I'm interested. I want you to come to the pageant. So I was like, you know what? I have the decision to choose a pageant that doesn't want me or that's not interested, or take a pageant that really is interested and loves what I'm doing and that is curious about me, that sees potential in me. So I chose something that aligned well with me, and I'm doing my best in the preparation and feeling it.
It's awesome. That sucks that the other pageant didn't want you.
Yeah, it was
But
a long story, but I'm not gonna mention that because I don't
no,
like
it's
giving
okay.
bad press. But it's what it is.
Well, I'm glad that you found Galaxy Canada, and just like you mentioned, like the fact that they embrace every body type, shape, size, walk of life. It's not something you see typically in the pageant world. So, so I'm excited for you to
It's exciting.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
It is,
Sorry, I cut you off first. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I'm just really excited for you to come onto the Galaxy stage and feel wanted first off, and to just really enjoy the moment. And like Cindy said, there's over 40 Miss, and I'm excited to see how you are all going to kill it.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited and interested to see who's going to win. But I do hope, if it's not your destiny this time, that you do continue to come back, because you know she's got divisions up till you're married.
Yeah,
So.
I'm gonna be good. So like, if it doesn't happen this year, Cindy, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready because I'm gonna come back. But I mean, because at least for now, I just love how Cindy takes care of us as delegates. Like, we're already a family, and I just find that so respectful and so beautiful that she's creating this community for us. Because from other pageant systems, we didn't even have a Facebook group, or we didn't really like have anything to converse about. Rather now, like, Cindy made the effort to, you know, starting a merch shop and starting all these things for us, which are just like, it's so exciting. And almost every 2 weeks or something like that, she posts something on the group, and she shares something, just make us more involved. And I just find that brilliant. It makes me excited whenever she has a post on. I'm like going on Facebook, like, yay, there's an update, and I'm excited. It's like, pageants is what it is. It's keeping you motivated through life and just making you feel like you matter in some way or form. And that's why I keep doing them. That's why I just enjoy it. And I mean, that's why I'm still here. And I mean, I'm 21 right now, so almost 22. So
you got time.
I still got so much time, and that's what's brilliant about it. I'm so excited to just try it out, and I love that the system is also not judging of women that have had children as well. Like, you can be in the Miss District division and have a kid, and I find that just so beautiful, because why should a mother not be worthy of being on the stage and showing off? I don't find that correlates at all, and I think it kind of dismisses the importance and the power that motherhood has. And I think it's really sad that some pageant systems don't accept that, and it kind of diminishes women that have had children, and I don't find that's right. I think I love a system that just represents everyone and that's proud of everyone. So I think that's why I'm gonna go on and on about it, but it really aligns with me.
No, Cindy actually said, I'm ready. So she's ready for you to come back if this isn't your year. And I think we're all ready.
That's great. I'm excited. And I mean, I gotta say thank you so much for having me on in general, because I mean, I'm the first contestant on your show, and it means a lot to me, and it holds a lot of responsibility for sure. And it means a lot to me, honestly. I mean, you could have just been like, I'm not interviewing any delegates. I'm not.
Oh my gosh, no.
Well, you could have, but I mean, you could have been like, I don't want to have like a conflict of interest or anything like that. But like, I really appreciate that you let at least me speak, or some of the other delegates speak, and share their stories and their passions and who they are. I really think that's amazing. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for watching. It's because of you ladies wanting a platform to come on and talk about your stories. That's my vision of representation.
Exactly. I love that. I love that you're using vision representation. I just want to keep spreading the word for it, and whether it's me that shares the stories or spreads the voices of others, or whether it is someone else that's sharing stories, it's so much value either way. Or even if it's just sharing a post on social media, you never know who you're going to touch You never know who you're going to change opinions of, and I think that's so important. I mean, I'm going to share an example of one of the times that I was wrong and that I was judging someone, if that's okay.
Yeah, girl,
Um,
it's your time to shine.
okay. So when I was a kid, I mean, we were not educated on learning disabilities or mental illness. We're not taught these things. At least when I was a kid, we weren't being talked about these things, and that's unfortunate because kids can understand things a lot more than we think. And I mean, whether it's race, whether it's gender, that we talk a little bit about more about these things. Anyways, I can go on about it, but kids are able to understand. And one of the things I was always judging people on is people that had more time on their exams, because I wanted more time on my exams. I mean, obviously, I wanted to, I mean, I wasn't being mean to them or anything, but I was the one saying, if someone had more time on their exam, I was the person saying, oh, I wish I had more time on my exam. But I didn't realize the impact of my words at that time, because I had a privilege that I didn't have a learning disability, and I didn't have issues with my language or anything that was going on in that realm. So I was lucky to have that. And so when others might not, others have different learning disabilities that might have they might have issues or with doing exams, or that they might need more time. So it was something that I didn't really understand as a child, and because no one told me what a learning disability was, and I didn't understand why people would have more time on their exams. So when I did a vision representation recently with someone with a severe learning disability, and she said that something that would really hurt her was when people would say that they wanted more time on their exams, and it totally made me recognize myself into that, and I was like, it made me recognize my mistakes, and I apologize for that, because it's not right, but I appreciate that I'm finally seeing my mistakes and seeing, and I'm looking for my word. There's like a word for this, but recognizing, I don't know. I'm looking for the word, but it's fine. We understand what I'm trying to say. But really seeing what was wrong, and that I was able to acknowledge it. There you go. That's the word. I was able to acknowledge it, apologize, move on, and learn from my mistakes. And later on, when this episode's not yet released about this one, but later on, I mean, I hope that it's going to help someone else learn from their mistakes, whether it is about this or whether it is about so many other episodes. I mean, there's so many interesting guests that are coming on in the next few weeks. I record really early, so that's why things are not really in the right order, but whatever. Things are really recorded early, so it gives me a lot of time to edit and to organize things. But
yeah,
I mean, it's so important to share those stories and listen to other people's hearts and let those voices be heard, which is why I don't want to put my face into my episodes. I really want to let the other person shine, and of course I guide them through an interview, but I don't put my face on it, because I really want it to be about a portrait of them and let them just speak for themselves.
I was wondering why.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. Yeah, it's because it's kind of like a director of a movie, right? Director never shows his face in the movie, because it's not necessarily about them. It's about the story. It's about whose story is being told. And I didn't want me to impact the way that that person was being represented. So I really wanted to have their voice be spoken, not with the privilege or with the perspective that I have. So that I really wanted to, make it about them. And yeah, I mean, it's always like an hour interviews that I put into 10 minutes, but it's always so instructive, and people come out of there telling me like that they felt so confident afterwards, because they realize everything that they've done in this world and all the community work that they've helped with, or that everything that they've done in general, and they just say like, I'm a good person, I've been doing good. And seeing that realization is just so exciting. I love it. Or even when I release someone's episode and someone's so nervous for the episode, and they're like, oh, I don't know what it's going to look like. It's going to be scary, and I'm probably going to look so dumb. And, they say these things to themselves. But when they see themselves and see the episode and how empowering they are, they're like, thank you for showing this side of me that I have never seen before. The side of me that's so empowering, that's so inspiring, and that I can help others. It changes their world. And if I can make an impact for that, I just think that's incredible.
And it's just like what pageantry has done for you, right?
Exactly.
You didn't know that you were capable of doing half of the things that you've accomplished,
Exactly.
maybe more, because you doubted yourself
Hmm.
and you were going through a dark time, and then you walked on stage and here you are now, you know? But I do want to commend you on your platform, your
Thank
docu-series,
you.
because like you mentioned, you go through life not realizing the little things that you're doing are actually affecting people in a way that you
Hmm.
didn't realize. And you
Yeah.
talking about, the child or the person with a learning disability. My
Hmm.
brothers have a learning disability, so I could relate.
Hmm.
Um, and you having that platform and giving people that opportunity to share their story, I think is amazing. But if people wanted to be interviewed and to be a part of this docu-series, how do they do so?
For sure. At the moment, I'm not interviewing any new people just because I'm very busy with school and with pageant stuff. But I will be once my schedule will clear up with school, and I'll be more available with my availability. So more towards April or so. So that will be a little bit easier for me. You can send me a message on my Facebook, Stéphanie Hubert, or on my Instagram, Steph Hubert, or Vision Representation. You can send me a message. Just let me know why you want to be on the show. I always want to stress that it's not a promotional work. It's really a portrait of yourself. It's not to promote a product. It's not to promote, because I've had this issue before. It's not to promote a product. It's not to promote anything but yourself. And I find that's really important to stress. And the next thing is, tell me what you want to say. If, so who you are, what you want to say, and why you want to be on the show. I find that's important to share. So I'm always excited
Mhm.
to meet new people. So please message me. I want different perspectives. I want to know, what are your adversities, what are your hardships. Want people that are interested in diving deep into their souls, and people that
Mhm.
are open and that they're willing to share the deep and dark secrets that sometimes are not fun to share, but it's so important to share those because it's empowering, and people need to hear that they're not alone.
That's exactly it. People, you're not alone. And Stephanie, it's amazing that you're sharing and giving people this platform to share. So, as she mentioned, all the links are in the description below. So, if you are interested in reaching out to her, you can follow her for her pageant journey, follow her for a vision of representation, subscribe to her YouTube channel, and while you're on that topic, if you would like to subscribe to this channel as well, we are live every Monday and Wednesday for Pageant Sit Down. Like this video because Stephanie is amazing. Wrapping things up here now, Stephanie, thank you so much for being on the show today. I am so grateful to have had you. Yes, you are actually the first delegate. I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it. So thank you for being here and sharing your story with us today.
Well, thank you for giving me a space to talk about vision and representation, to talk about there's some different issues that I've had, because sometimes I forget to do so myself, to tell my own story with vision. I get so caught up in telling other people's stories that sometimes it's I forget to tell mine. But I tried as much as possible to share it through social media with some posts, with some videos, and who knows, maybe I'll do an own episode about myself when I finish
Yes.
it or something like that, because I have so much to say. I have so much experiences that are valuable and that need to be shared. So
Mhm.
I'm always excited for that. But thank you for having this show in general and letting people from the pageant world speak and break that stigma that pageant women are intelligent. They
Mhm.
are so beautiful, and not just the way that they're looking physically, but in the way that they are. And they're very ambitious and
Mhm.
passionate. And I can go on about it, but it's all like-minded women, and you're representing all this amazing community and showing it in such a positive light. And I really commend you on that, and I thank you for creating this platform, for letting everyone speak. And it's so exciting to see all the episodes, and I'm excited to see all the other ones and that will follow as well. So thank you so much for having me as well.
Well, thank you for the kind words. This is only episode 9. There's a lot more coming up the pipeline. And again, Stephanie, I am so thankful to have you on here, especially on Pink Shirt Day, where we talk about we talk about anti-bullying, and your story in itself just reflected that. I definitely think you should do an episode on your story because, as I mentioned when you were talking about it, you are inspiring to not just me, but to so many other people out there who have also faced depression and being bullied. But you actually faced depression with your bully there, and
Mm-hmm.
not everyone can say that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen who have been tuning in. Thank you again. This is episode 9 of Pageant Sit Down. I look forward to seeing you all next week on Monday. We have another amazing guest lined up. And again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and we will see you all next week. Bye!